Alright, did you guys miss the state of play for Hogwarts Legacy? Don't worry about it, we're going to go ahead and do a bit of a mini recap. Now I have some notes, there's some broken notes, so we're going to be going kind of like mix matching all over the place, but just bear in mind, I was super excited for this game. I'm actually really happy that we finally got to see some more gameplay. It looks way bigger than I thought it was going to be, a lot more expansive, a lot more like super in-depth. They got some cool lore stuff in there. I mean, the combat, in my opinion, I thought it looked fun, but we're gonna go ahead and go over my notes here while you guys get to go ahead and just check out the footage here. And let me know down below in the comment section if you're getting this game. What sold you on getting this game? Is it just that it's Harry Potter? Did you see this new the new state of play and think, wow, this is it. This is definitely the Harry Potter game for me. Let me know down below what certain aspect of it got you sold. Let's go ahead and jump in. Right out the jump, the game does show you a bunch of different monsters. You're definitely gonna go ahead and definitely notice tons and tons of different monsters that you've seen from probably both Harry Potter movies as well as Fantastic Beasts. And if you read the books, you'll probably even recognize some from there as well, which they did a great job of doing. You get to customize your own freaking student, which is really cool. You're going to be able to customize your own student. Goes pretty in depth, which a little bit of the story that kind of goes with it is that you are a new student that is joining Hogwarts as a 5th year, which I find quite interesting. But they did say that that's going to be a play into the mystery of the actual story. So keep that in mind. That's really cool, as I'm going to bring in a little bit more story elements that they kind of dropped in the trailers as well. Aside from that, you're going to get sorted into your actual house, which is pretty cool. They're keeping it straight from, again, the books and the movies. They're gonna have the different houses. Each house is just gonna have its own corridor, and the students associated with it. Which, speaking of the students, you also get to kind of befriend some of them. They're gonna be able to accompany you on your quests and any side quests you do, main story quests. Even some of them themselves will have their own quests, which is pretty interesting. Also, some of them can even teach you stuff like magic and spells, which is pretty cool. Aside from that, it kind of then broken down to you're gonna be able to attend classes, get the full Hogwarts experience, which is the #1 thing that I'm sold on for this game just to begin with. Creating my own character and just getting the full Hogwarts treatment. And so with that being said, you're gonna be able to attend classes, you're gonna be able to learn all types of things from different monsters, potion brewing, of course spells. They definitely name dropped a bunch of stuff that you've probably recognized if you've watched the movies, played the games. They had the dueling club, the defense against the dark arts, herbology. Again, a lot of stuff, even the animals and creatures you will definitely recognize if you watched and read the books. Aside from that, they did a cool thing where they really broke down the combat in this game. Now, what's cool is the combat is a lot more intuitive than what I thought it was going to be. If you played the old school Harry Potter games, then you 100% know that it was just like flipendo and just a couple of certain spells. In this game, they definitely name drop some spells that I'm not too aware of, but you will, again, definitely recognize some of the spells. But the cool thing they did was they allow you to mix and match spells. When you're fighting multiple enemies, there's going to be some offensive spells, some defensive spells, some supportive spells. Like, they're really making it a very cool combat kind of system for the game. Definitely something that I've never seen in a Harry Potter game before, because this is really like the biggest step for a Harry Potter game that I've ever seen. But with the mix and matching of spells, they even gone like a step above, and you can even mix and match some potions when you're in your combat to give you some buffs, maybe make your spell stronger, or maybe you bring out a monster that kind of lets out like a cry or something where you can combo in with some spells. Like, they took combat to a whole nother level, which I really enjoy. Aside from that, we can continue on. You are going to be able to explore Hogwarts Castle. They did the thing that I was so glad that they actually did, was that they added in dungeons and they added in some cool secret passageways. They added in puzzles for you to kind of figure out. Might need to use certain spells to kind of actually complete them, which is really cool. Again, it just goes back to the Hogwarts, Harry Potter experience that people definitely wanted to see. You will find iconic locations, again, if you've read the books or watched the movies. The game does take place in the 1800s, which is pretty interesting. You're going to see iconic characters, like they name dropped one and they showed him, which was Sir Headless Nick, which is pretty cool. Let me see. Besides from that, they went back into the story and they definitely dropped some important characters like Professor Fig, who will tie into the story a lot. They did name drop and say that some of the enemies that you'll encounter will be evil goblins and pretty much dark wizards. They seem to be the more antagonizing forces. You even get to fight off against other students. But again, it looks like, they might try to have that rivalry, maybe of like the Gryffindor Slytherin type thing. Probably going to give you some type of antagonist, like the whole Harry Potter and, Draco Malfoy. They're going to probably have stuff like that, and they kind of tease it for sure. Aside from from that, right, the game is huge. Aside from them, you know, showing some of the story, Hogwarts experience, a lot of iconic spells, they went ahead and they dropped into how big the game is actually going to be. It expands beyond Hogwarts. It actually goes into Hogsmeade, if you're familiar, which is like the outside town. It's going to go into the Forbidden Woods. It's going to go even beyond that. I mean, places that I don't even recognize really, which is extremely cool. Enemies will be roaming not just from Hogwarts, but they'll also be in these other areas too. You're going to find so many different enemies, a lot of good variety for the game, but also again, the story takes place in the castle, but it looks like it even goes outside of the castle. So lots of locations where they said that they got from the book. They even kind of expanded a bit that you might not have even seen some places like from the movies that are again really heavily into the books. They took the time to actually like, you know, really detail those places, and you'll really notice that when you're playing the game as well. They did the thing and they added in broomsticks, so you can fly. One thing that they have not confirmed, but they did show, was Quidditch. They showed a Quidditch player, but not necessarily Quidditch. And so I don't know if we're gonna be able to do Quidditch, but I feel like if they're adding in the broomsticks, they're adding in the flying, there's a good chance we're probably going to get some Quidditch. But bear in mind, you know, it wasn't really shown off, but hopefully that is going to become a thing. They did also show off that there's going to be talents and abilities where you get to customize your character to sort of be the wizard that you want him to be, to fit the playstyle that you want to fit too. So it seems like, you know, you do get to really go in depth with your character and probably choose the spell path that, you know, makes more sense to you. Maybe if you're more of the offensive person, maybe a little bit more of the defensive person, there's going to be the spells and the skill trees that kind of cater to it. So really cool on that. You can be able to change your own gear. You can be able to even find gear in the different dungeons, the different secrets. That's really cool. Customizable gear. It can even be upgraded. You can upgrade your potions, your spells. They also introduced, they showed off the room requirement, which again is another iconic location. But with the room requirement, it's kind of like a safe haven, like a camp spot where you can kind of like get some types of upgrades to get to your armor, for your potions. You can even harvest stuff to help you in the actual game itself. They even let you to create and customize your own place as well. It's like they're doing a lot. There's gonna be side missions. There's gonna be a real-time weather system. You can even do the curses that are like, you know, forbidden of what you don't want to do. That was always forbidden in Harry Potter, but you're gonna be able to do it in the game itself. I'm losing like my mind here. There's so many things. This pretty much comes to the end of my notes here. Again, the game did get a release date, which is awesome. Holiday of 2022. Now the only thing I put with that was that's a little scary because Holiday 2022 is potentially booked. It is just absolutely nuts. Starfield, right? Potentially God of War Ragnarok. What else? Potentially Nintendo has Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, maybe even Bayonetta. Like there's a lot of games that are potentially dropping in that time space. And so I do get a little nervous that this game dropping among all these games, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be totally chaos for the end of this year. So let me know your thoughts about it. Again, this is pretty much it. Holiday 2022 is the current release window. I'm extremely excited for it. It's a big game, but let me know your thoughts. Are you guys going to be picking this up day one? Will you kind of wait knowing that it is Holiday 2022 and the fact that there's just potentially a lot of games dropping at that time? You let me know down below in the comment section. I'm Lethal One Up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.